What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive into how the best way that I have found to date to organize my spinnerbaits and my chatterbaits or vibrating jigs. This is something that I've spent lots of money over the years trying to figure it out. Spinnerbaits are a tough one to dial into, and even vibrating jigs, things get rusted out. You want to protect your investment, and I've sort of figured this out over the years, and it's an inexpensive way to do this. So let's jump into this video right now.
Let's go. We're here in Mexico. We are in the Dominican Republic. So I'm gonna tell you a couple different tips that have helped me over the years.
Wow! Unbelievable! Jacob Wheeler makes history!
Okay, so there's no doubt that spinnerbaits and chatterbaits or vibrating jigs have been probably the most, a chatterbait's been one of the biggest fish catchers for the last 5 years, hands down. But a spinnerbait is also making a comeback. I've won a lot of money over the last few years on a spinnerbait, fishing offshore, like Eufaula, but also shallow. It just catches a lot of fish. And so over the years, I've had my spinnerbaits organized and stuff like this. And at the end of the year, especially, which these are nice little containers. I think Plano makes this one right here. But they just take up a lot of room. I think you can sort of put 10 spinnerbaits, or it looks like maybe 1, 2, maybe 15 spinnerbaits in this whole box. And that's great, but for me, and as many spinnerbaits as I have, what ends up happening, whether you only have 15 spinnerbaits or 2 or 3, the problem is at the end of the year, I typically, if I don't take care of them and I don't put them back there, or I put one spinnerbait in there and it's a little bit wet, they all get rusted out. And I'm sitting here like, gosh, man, I messed it all up. Well, over the years, I figured this out, and I have this Spinnerbait Rocks. This is all the spinnerbaits that I carry day in and day out, and it's just the best way for me to do it. And so I have this box right here. It is heavy. A whole bunch of skirts in here as well. And I have all these spinnerbaits in their own little baggies, okay? And these baggies over the years, so like for me, here's like a single spinnerbait. That's just one spinnerbait that I sort of custom set up, ready to roll, has a little trailer on there. I don't have to, he had a little bit of rust on them. I don't want to mix and match them and put like brand new spinnerbaits in the same box with rusted hooks. This might be a practice spinnerbait, you know what I'm saying? Or it might be one that I end up, throwing in the tournament. I like it. I'm like, hey, that's a good one. I need to make another one, or I need to work on that. So for me, the best way that I've found, you can buy these on Amazon. There's these little baggies that you can get on Amazon, and these things cost next to nothing. You grab your spinnerbait or whatever you want. Let me see here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's a pack of Old Big spinnerbaits for me. Like, that's an Old Big right there. There's probably 10 of them in there, or 12 of them in there. Here's some spring dings. Let me see if I can find one that I just made some. There's some river spinnerbaits. Got that guy. Okay, so here's a bag of like spring ding spinnerbaits, ½ ounce, that I put in this whole bag. They're brand new, ready to roll, pre-spawn, killer, ready to get it. Just right there. ½ ounce, ready to roll. Done. And they're all in one thing because they're all brand new. But this is the thing. At the end of the year, and I'm not great at managing my tackle throughout the whole year, because I don't throw a spinnerbait all times of the year. I throw it a decent amount, but it really is a great pre-spawn lure. Putting those in those little baggies like that, and they have smaller baggies as well. I basically get this little combination pack. I'll try to put it in the description below if I can find it for y'all, but it's not expensive. It's like you have a combination of like little ones, and I'll put like tips in them. I'll put my hooks in them. These little baggies have saved me a lot of money over the years. And typically at the end of the season, I'd have 50 spinnerbaits or 30 spinnerbaits that were all rusted out, or the dang swivels were messed up, and they weren't doing me any good. And I had to spend a ton of time trying to revamp them or sharpen the hooks, and a lot of them would be messed up as is. This way right here, I'm telling you right now, I have not messed up my spinnerbait box, which saves me a lot of money throughout the season. Let me put these guys back in here. I have a ton of different spinnerbaits through this guy. I have old school Hank Parkers. I have obviously my accent stuff. I have, I have I have just a lot. I carry a lot of stuff. You guys know me. I do. And then I carry some backup skirts in case, just because I have some that are hanging in there that aren't already pre-made. Most of them are that I actually am throwing, and I'll make them for the next event, or I'll play around with it. So, but that's all my spinnerbaits right there. And what I'll do is, as the year goes on, is I'll swap. I actually have like a big giant spinnerbait box, which most of you are not going to have that. I have like this big giant spinnerbait box that has all my spinnerbaits in it, sort of like set up. And if you wanted to, you could even go into like something like this with your spinnerbaits and have a bigger box and put them in the and put them individually and put them in their own individual bag to where you don't mess them up. I know a lot of people a few people that do that. A friend of mine in Ohio does that, and they put all their spinnerbaits in the individual bags and put them in each slot. And that way, when they pull it out, if they put it back in there, they're not messing up any of their other spinnerbaits. That's just the best way I found. And same thing with my vibrating jigs. Now I have to revamp my vibrating jig box. You can see I have stuff everywhere. Like, I mean, they're out, but still from a full season, I've not touched this. From a full season, there's a couple random ones in there, but they're all still in these little baggies. They're all still in those little baggies right there. I ride on them. Now, the only problem is I do ride on them like half ounce or something like that, jackhammer or OG chatterbait or whatever it is. You know, but that's sort of like the way I do it. Those little baggies help me be more organized. And sometimes like even like some of these, like here, you can buy like a jackhammer itself or like I guess it's like a thunder cricket. You could do that, and I wrap them up. But the problem is there's still water can get in there. I actually had an instance where I had water fill up in one of my compartments last year, and I had to lay all my spinnerbaits out. In a lot of them I didn't even have to lay out because they're in those little baggies. If I had them in these little baggies right here that like the jackhammer or you know something else came in, their water got in there, I'm gonna mess them up. So it's just something that most people don't have that many of them like I do, but it's just something that has worked really well for me on both my spinnerbait side of things and on my chatterbait side. I mean, I'm gonna have to revamp this box here. We have a couple days before we're heading out again. So, but this is something, if you have time this winter time, reorganize your spinnerbaits, reorganize all of your vibrating jigs, grab those little baggies. It's worked for me. Hopefully it works for you, and hopefully you learned a little bit something from this video. Good luck this season. If you guys don't already subscribe to the channel, and this is just the first video you've actually seen, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We have a lot of great content on here. Some pretty fun stuff as well. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.